The law of attraction isn't magic. It's not about sitting in your room, staring at the ceiling, and hoping the world delivers your dream life in a gift box. It's about alignment. What you focus on consistently, what you talk about, what you believe, those things shape your actions. And your actions create your results. If you wake up every day thinking life is unfair, that nothing works out, that the world is against you, you'll notice every little thing that proves you right. You'll carry that energy into conversations, into opportunities, into decisions. And guess what? You'll attract more of it. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because your mindset is filtering your reality. But if you choose to focus on possibilities, to speak about where you're headed instead of where you're stuck, you train your brain to spot the doors that are already there. You attract people who align with that energy. You make moves that align with that belief. That's how the law of attraction works. It's not sitting and wishing. It's seeing, believing, and then doing. The law of attraction is responsibility. It's you saying, I am no longer a victim of chance. I will not keep waiting for luck to hit my doorstep. I will set my focus. I will hold my vision. I will align my choices. And little by little, the things I once thought were impossible start showing up in my life. Not because they suddenly appeared, but because I finally trained myself to see them. The law of attraction is not about sitting and wishing. It's about aligning your thoughts, words, and actions with what you want, because your focus becomes your filter and your filter becomes your reality. Too many people misunderstand this idea and think that attraction means waiting. It means imagining something hard enough until it suddenly appears, as if life is a genie waiting for a wish. That is why so many get frustrated. They sit in silence hoping for a breakthrough. And when it doesn't happen, they call it a myth. The truth is that the law of attraction isn't magic. It's a mirror. It shows you what you're already projecting, what you're already carrying, what you're already living inside your head and heart. Your life is a reflection of your dominant thoughts, not your fleeting desires. If you constantly focus on lack, you see lack everywhere. If you constantly focus on possibilities, you start spotting doors where others only see walls. Think about this. If your mind is fixed on negativity, you filter everything through that negativity. Someone compliments you and you dismiss it because your filter says it's fake. An opportunity shows up and you sabotage it because your filter tells you that you're not worthy. You get into conversations with people and you only hear the parts that reinforce your insecurities. That's the filter at work. But if your focus shifts to growth, if your focus shifts to opportunity, suddenly the same world looks different. The compliments fuel you, the opportunities feel possible, the conversations inspire you, because your filter now highlights those parts instead of dismissing them. The law of attraction is deeply tied to awareness. What are you paying attention to day in and day out? Most people underestimate the power of repeated focus. If every morning you wake up telling yourself that nothing changes, your brain is wired to confirm that belief. It will push you to notice the traffic, the setbacks, the disappointments, and it will blind you to the open doors, the new connections, the fresh chances. On the other hand, if you train your focus towards solutions, you notice things you would have ignored before. You overhear conversations that spark ideas. You catch details that others walk past. You turn ordinary days into stepping stones. This is why aligning your thoughts, words, and actions is non-negotiable. You cannot think one way, speak another way, and act in a completely different way, and then expect your life to attract clarity. If your thoughts are about wanting success, but your words are soaked in doubt, and your actions are rooted in laziness, you are misaligned. The law of attraction doesn't answer confusion, it responds to consistency. When your inner world and outer world agree, when your focus matches your speech and your speech matches your steps, that's when attraction becomes momentum. And the momentum is subtle at first. You start noticing your energy shift. You start noticing that certain people gravitate toward you while others fade away. You start realizing that your circle changes because like attracts like. The conversations you have are different, not because the whole world changed overnight, but because your filter now pulls in what serves your vision and pushes out what doesn't. You begin to notice that even challenges feel different. The same problem that used to crush you now looks like a lesson, a tool, a redirection. Why? Because your focus is aligned, and so your filter translates it differently. The law of attraction teaches you responsibility. You cannot control every single event in your life, but you can control how you meet those events, how you perceive them, and what meaning you attach to them. That meaning becomes your reality. Two people can face the same storm. One sees disaster, the other sees resilience. One filters for pain, the other filters for strength. Which one are you training your mind to become? The attraction is not about eliminating storms. It is about deciding what you'll see in the storm and how you'll step through it. Now, let's talk about the connection between your words and your attraction. Every word you speak is planting something in your environment. Words are not empty, they are seeds. If you constantly say, "I'm unlucky, I can't do this, nothing works out for me," you are reinforcing a filter that ensures you find evidence for that belief. The law of attraction responds by feeding you more experiences that confirm your words, because your subconscious is always working to prove you right. But if you start speaking differently, if you begin saying, "I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm moving forward," your words align your brain toward that direction. You will attract situations that validate growth because your focus is hunting for it. The final piece is action. Thoughts and words set the stage, but actions write the script. If you say you want a different life but keep repeating the same habits, you are sending mixed signals. The law of attraction cannot reward contradiction. Your body has to match your belief. That doesn't mean you need to make giant leaps overnight. It means your steps, however small, need to align with the story you're telling yourself. Every choice you make either strengthens your filter or weakens it. When you consistently act in line with your vision, you attract circumstances that match your discipline. People often ask why attraction seems slow. The truth is, it's not slow, it's patient. It's reflecting what you are becoming, not what you are pretending to want. You can't fake alignment. You either live it or you don't. That's why so many give up. They think it isn't working because they want instant rewards. But attraction works like compound interest. Quiet, steady, invisible at first, and then overwhelming once it builds. So if you really want to understand the law of attraction, stop thinking of it as wishful magic. See it as a law of alignment. Your focus is your filter becomes your reality, and your reality is shaped by what you continually allow your mind, mouth, and movements to agree upon. Once those three, thoughts, words, and actions, fall in line, you'll notice the world responding in ways that feel almost supernatural. But in reality, it's just the natural outcome of living in alignment. You don't attract what you hope for, you attract what you believe in, speak about, and act on. Your energy is the magnet, and your consistency is what pulls opportunities toward you. Hope is passive. It's like standing at the shore, wishing the tide would carry you somewhere new without ever stepping into the water. Belief is different. Belief is a force. Belief pushes you forward even when you don't see the evidence yet. Belief shapes the way you carry yourself, the way you think about challenges, the way you handle setbacks. When you believe in something strongly enough, your mind starts operating as if it is already real, and that mental state draws people, ideas, and resources that match it. Belief creates conviction, and conviction attracts movement. But belief alone is not enough if your words contradict it. What you speak matters. Every conversation, every statement you make about yourself or your future either fuels your attraction or weakens it. When you say, "I'll never make it, I'm not good enough, my life is stuck," you are giving instructions to your subconscious to search for proof. You are planting commands that shape the filter of your reality. But when you say, "I'm on my way, I'm learning, I'm building," you are giving your mind permission to focus on growth and possibility. Words are powerful because they carry energy, and that energy doesn't stay hidden. It radiates into your posture, into your tone, into the way others perceive you. People feel the energy of your words before they even process their meaning. That's why two people can walk into a room and say the same sentence, but only one person gets taken seriously. The difference is the energy they've been cultivating with their beliefs and words long before that moment. Then comes action. Without action, belief is just potential and words are just noise. Action is the proof. Action is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. You can believe you're capable, you can speak as if you're capable, but if you don't move in alignment with that capability, nothing shifts. The law of attraction requires proof of seriousness, and action is that proof. When you take consistent steps, even when they're small, even when nobody notices, you are showing the world and yourself that you mean it. That consistency builds momentum, and momentum pulls opportunities closer. People are drawn to those who don't just talk but show up, who don't just dream but move, who don't just plan but execute. Your energy is the magnet. Think about what kind of magnet you're becoming every single day. If your energy is filled with doubt, anger, envy, and fear, you repel the very things you say you want. You push away relationships, opportunities, and progress because your energy signals that you're not ready to handle them. But when your energy is built on gratitude, confidence, patience, and drive, you become magnetic. People feel safer around you, ideas flow to you, doors open for you. Energy doesn't lie. You cannot pretend to have magnetic energy for long because it leaks through in your habits, in your body language, in your choices. That's why the inner work is non-negotiable. You don't attract what you fake, you attract what you truly are. Consistency is the anchor. Anybody can believe for a day, anybody can speak positively for a week, anybody can take action for a month. But attraction doesn't respond to bursts of energy, it responds to sustained energy. Consistency is what teaches the universe, the people around you, and your own subconscious that you're serious. It's easy to post about your goals once. It's harder to build routines that reflect them day after day. But that's where the magnetism grows strongest, in the grind of repetition. Every time you show up, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're not seeing results yet, you are strengthening your pull. Consistency is the evidence of belief. Without consistency, your belief is just theory. With consistency, your belief becomes reality. And here's the thing about consistency. It doesn't need to be flashy. It doesn't need to be public. Some of the strongest magnets are built in private, in quiet habits, in daily disciplines that nobody claps for. Attraction doesn't care about applause, it cares about alignment. It rewards the ones who stay the course long enough for the seeds they planted to take root. Too many people quit before the roots have even had time to grow, then they say attraction doesn't work. The truth is, it was working, but they weren't consistent enough to see the fruit. When you combine belief, words, action, energy, and consistency, you create a force that is impossible to ignore. Opportunities begin to appear, not because they weren't there before, but because now you're tuned to recognize them. People begin to take you seriously, not because you suddenly became worthy, but because your energy communicates commitment and clarity. You start achieving things that once felt unreachable, not because life gave you a shortcut, but because you finally aligned yourself long enough for the compound effect to kick in. The law of attraction is not just about dreaming, it's about becoming. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally draws what they're seeking because their beliefs are strong, their words are intentional, their actions are consistent, and their energy is magnetic. You don't chase opportunities, you attract them by the person you're becoming in the process. That is the true power of attraction. Not hoping, but embodying, not wishing, but aligning, not waiting, but moving, and doing it with a consistency that proves you're ready for what you've been asking for. What do you think about this video? Tell me in the comments.